losing ground as worries about the conflict in the Middle East have eased. Since the beginning of this week, Brent crude has lost 5% of its value, while WTI was down by nearly 6%. The Russian currency continues benefiting from the overall optimistic sentiment, trading firmly higher against the US dollar. Investors are still focused on the situation in the Middle East. Despite positive comments from US President Donald Trump, market participants stayed tense, expecting next step from Iran. Recently, Iranian state television reported that Iran's missile attacks on American bases were the beginning of a major operation. So the risk of interruption in oil supplies from the Middle East still exists. Oil prices may drop even lower if the oil supply remains stable in the nearest future. Brent crude opened today's session moving slightly lower and trading at $65.27 a barrel. Brent has lost 0.15% compared to the previous close. WTI futures fell to $59.32 per barrel. Both oil benchmarks may finish this week in the red zone for the first time since November last year. Moreover, official data from the Energy Information Administration confirming the rise in the U.S. crude stockpiles weighs down on oil quotes. However, the Russian currency was almost unaffected by the oil's decline. Easing of geopolitical tensions and the upcoming conclusion of the trade deal between the U.S. and China continue supporting the ruble. It also benefits from the foreign currency sales to the exporting companies and ahead of the tax period in Russia. On Thursday, the ruble closed the session in the negative territory, having lost 0.07% against the US dollar. However, on Friday, it started the trade moving higher to the level of 61.31, but its trajectory remains mixed. At this point, the dollar-ruble pair may find support at the level of 61. If the ruble manages to hold at this mark, its next targets will be at the levels of 60.55 and 60 level. Today, market participants are waiting for the U.S. non-farm payrolls. If the reported data turns out to be positive, the ruble may marginally ease against the US dollar. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.